South East Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
South East Radio.
Well, over the past 5 days, Local Enterprise Week has been celebrated with events being held right across the country. On the local front, Wexford LEO held a number of key events, and Angela Lawless joins us now to discuss these events and to highlight the assistance which the LEO can offer to businesses in the model county. Angela, since the easing of the public health restrictions, have you noticed a surge in demand for Wexford LEO's services?
Good morning, Carol, and thank you very much for having me on. Yes, very much so, Carl. We've seen a demand right across a number of sectors. A huge demand in an increase for mentoring services, so one-to-one advice in a range of specialist areas to businesses, just reaching out maybe to get advice on financial aspects, on marketing, on areas like HR, just looking for that one-to-one advice that's specific to their needs. So we've had a huge increase in demand for that. We've also had an increase in demand for areas such as the trading online voucher, the digital voucher that will help people that maybe have moved to their website during the pandemic but now maybe want to improve it. They've seen the benefit of it. They want to add on additional services to their website, and they're coming looking for additional funding to do that. So we have seen a huge demand, and there has been, luckily and thankfully, an increase in startup businesses coming and looking for funding, getting off the ground, coming to us looking to see how we can help them to turn their business ideas into reality.
The LEO has lots of great insights in terms of what's happening across the county from a micro business perspective. So what are some of the common challenges facing your clients today?
One of the main challenges across all sectors is staffing, being the ability to actually recruit and retain the staff that they need. In certain instances, people would have funding there to actually take on additional staff, but are finding it a great challenge to actually get the particular staff that they need in order to progress on with the business. Another challenge that we're seeing really is in the digital sphere. People who moved on to online trading, perhaps during the pandemic, felt they had no choice because the business premises were closed. So they moved into that website or that online era and maybe don't have the backup skills to kind of now drive it forward. So they've got this website that they've got set up, but maybe don't know how to use it to the full and best of its ability in order to get the best value from it. So we're seeing that is becoming a challenge, that people are finding that they don't know enough maybe about the analytics side of the website, how to gather the data and to use that data then to drive forward their sales.
And of course, Tuesday last marked International Women's Day 2022, and I know that a special event was held in Johnstown Castle to celebrate this occasion. Who were the key speakers at the event, and what were the key messages from the day itself?
Yes, Carl, we had a very, very entertaining event last Tuesday on International Women's Day in Johnstown Castle. It was attended by about 85 people, mainly females, but we did have some men. And the main speaker on the day was Jacinta Kith. And Jacinta is an author and organisational advisor, and she deals really in empowerment and effectiveness and well-being. So while the theme of the event was together again, but Jacinta was looking very much at practical strategies to help us look after ourselves, how to manage your stress and focus on self-awareness. And it's something that is hugely important, not only in personal lives, but also in the business life of anybody, to be able to manage the stresses and the day-to-days that come from their businesses. So I suppose some of the key messages that Jacinta came out with about the benefit of giving recognition to individuals, whether it is work colleagues, whether it is family members, but that by you giving recognition, it actually benefits you hugely and not just the other individual. So that it is hugely beneficial on both parties to give recognition for little things. The only thing that you can change maybe about a difficult situation is how you react to the situation. So very much how you react to a difficult situation, how you are changing how you feel about that situation, as opposed to trying to change the other individual. That it is it's a key area in actually looking after yourself, and caring for yourself is the key to being able to be successful in personal life, to being successful in business life, we need to care for ourselves and look after ourselves. And she was just hugely entertaining on the day. Our other speaker then on the day was Liz Hoare was MC, who is the Director of Services here in Wexford County Council, and Barbara Ann Murphy, the Council Chairperson. Barbara's speech basically focused on the importance of that break the bias, which is one of the themes for International Women's Day, of how in Wexford we are doing well at the civic level in terms of the number of directors within the council being on a balance. You know, we've a good lot of females there, we've a good lot of females throughout the political role, but that, you know, we need to push forward further to get to break the bias. But very entertaining on the day.
Another important workshop revolved around the retail and food service space. Who facilitated this workshop and what content was covered?
This is facilitated through a company we work with called James Burke, and we had two great speakers. Dominique Kemp, who would be, she's a journalist, food writer and co-founder of the It's a Cafe and Restaurant chain that would be in Brown Thomas and similar places in Dublin. She was joined by Rachel Doyle of the Arboretum in Carlow, two hugely experienced businesswomen who both gave presentations on what, in Dominique's case, what the theme for retail, for food service will be in 2022 from her point of view, and Rachel spoke about retail in 2022. And they were joined then by Wexford business, by Niamh Byrne of Ruby Rouge and Gorey, who gave her flavour and talked about how their business, which was basically on the shop in the main street in Gorey and a small amount of online, has now moved after the pandemic purely to a fully online model because that is what is working for them. Hugely entertaining again and very interesting. Dominique spoke about key trends that will arise for the food service industry. Things like menus will be shorter, technology will play a huge part in the food service industry going forward. Maybe the way to differentiate yourself might be down to themes. You know, some restaurants are focusing on being able to dine with your pets. You know, you can bring them into the restaurant. Different areas like that. Rachel gave a kind of whistle-stop tour of her career to date, I suppose, and what works for them in the retail space and what they do that has resulted in them having a hugely successful business. So yes, some key points came out of there and very interesting discussion.
We are hearing lots about more and more businesses having their own podcast to get their message out, and that's something that LEO are actually assisting business owners with. Provide us with an insight into that.
Absolutely. It's an area that's growing, as you say, and a lot of businesses, it's an extra marketing tool for them. So this week during Local Enterprise Week, we ran a podcasting for business workshop over 2 days on Thursday and Friday. And basically that was learning how to start a podcast. You know, how do you record? How do you edit? How do you upload? What equipment do you need? And how do you actually do the practicalities of setting up a podcast to be able to broadcast for your business? A growing area for any business in the marketing sphere.
And Angela, of course, there's lots of great and valuable supports available to business people through the local library service as well. Provide us with an insight into those, and maybe starting with Mintel Market Research.
Yeah, we ran an event on Friday in conjunction with the library services called Demystifying Market Research. And the whole idea of that basically was to look at the Mintel service within the libraries, which is in a market intelligence service or market research service. It has a lot of very valuable market research information. Any new startup business, any entrepreneur that is thinking of starting a business, going into a new market, needs to gather information on the market trends, the market size, what other research is out there. So this particular workshop went through the basics of market research and in explaining it in kind of basic terms that could be easily understood. How to go into your local library and say, I'm starting up a business in the food sector, and this is particularly, I'm interested in research about how the grapes, for example, how to go into the library and actually access this particular research through Mintel, and how to get detailed aspects of what reports are out there, what information is there that will help inform your decision, inform the direction that you take your business in.
And finally, Angela, I do want to speak to you about the local heats of the National Enterprise Awards. It was one of the highlights of this week as well. So who's the overall winner here in Wexford that will be going on to the national final?
Well, we are delighted to announce that the winner of the Wexford heat of the National Enterprise Awards is Professional Hair Products Limited in Rosslare. Ryan Margolin and his brother Darrell are involved there, and an excellent company. They make cosmetic adhesive for wigs and hair pieces. They export internationally. They have a very good marketing presence. They're very successful, have moved now into providing the adhesives for a lot of wigs and hair pieces in the film industry, and they're actually going in the next couple of weeks again back over to the States to work on in the film industry over there to use their qualifications and their techniques and their product over there. So we are hugely delighted that they're going forward to represent Wexford in the National Enterprise Awards. The runner-up at the event was another very successful Wexford company, a newish company, Hoop Medical in Wexford, who make the balloon parts that go into heart catheters for operations. A very young company in the last couple of years, but doing very well, employing numbers of staff down here. So I have to say we are delighted that Professional Hair Products Limited will be going on to represent Wexford at the National Enterprise Awards.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Angela Lawless from Wexford LEO. And I'd like to thank Angela for helping us to celebrate Local Enterprise Week on Business Matters.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast.